we just talk about how veganism has helped us. I guess advice for veganism.
Yes.
Just little things, I guess. So we are back again. Welcome. This is my brother Ralph.
Yes.
Infinite Waters.
Diving deep, baby. Breathing in that good ass prana.
Every single day, here and over there on Ralph's channel, which is linked below. And we just wanted to talk really quickly about, we were thinking about video ideas just now, going through my phone, trying to find ideas for you guys, things that we thought were important. And we realized that we're both vegan. We both have been vegan for years now. And we thought we'd talk to you a little bit about that. What we think about veganism, ethically, morally, our ideas of it, why we're vegan, how you can go vegan, little bitty tips and topics. Because I don't know about you, but I don't meet many other guys, especially that are vegan. I read a statistic once that said 80% of all vegans are female. So it's nice to have another guy to speak about with veganism, because I think that's one of the reasons is, as men, as males in the species, they have that kind of masculine complex.
Yes.
That addiction to, the compassion is lacking in a lot of ways.
It is. A lot of people feel they need meat to survive, and it's because they ask, where am I going to get my protein? Not realizing you can get protein from spirulina, hemp seeds, chia seeds, complete source of protein. So it's just a lack of education. But I feel as well, being vegan is so much more than just refraining from eating certain foods. It's a level of consciousness which
Yes.
you're now connected to other life forms, which is the hardest level to attain.
And I actually did a video on this in the past called Can Meat Eaters Be Spiritual?
Right.
And what I was pretty much speaking about was what you said, this level of consciousness, where the Buddha even talked about this. He would say that a man working in a slaughterhouse cannot become enlightened. What he meant by that was you have to attain certain levels of consciousness, and those depend on your actions.
Yes.
Actions directly influence where your mental state is. And I think, like you said, before we go vegan, whether we're vegetarian or we're herbivores eating meat and plants, we're at a level consciously that hasn't fully attained what I believe to be is the highest state of consciousness possible for us living as this physical body, as being empathy with the ability to sympathize with other species. And I think I agree with that. I think that it's a big reason that we should go vegan is that you'll notice by cutting out all of these ways of death, of destruction, you start to, I think, refrain from doing any other destructive habit in your life. I noticed, I don't know about you, but when I stopped going vegan, I really got much more mindful about littering, about how I was talking to other people, about how I was thinking in my mind. A lot of my entire life became more mindful when I started to change up what I was putting into my body mindfully.
Definitely happened to me. Everything changed. Once you stop eating animals, you realize animals are actually more civilized than us. And their consciousness, their teachers. People love their dogs. Everyone loves their dog. But what about a cow? What about a pig? And once you stop inflicting pain on animals, you treat your fellow human a lot better.
So a question I have for you is, what kind of initiated your vegan journey? What kind of pushed you over the edge to transform into the vegan diet and live a plant-based lifestyle?
Well, it was really due to health reasons. For me, my health wasn't too good, and I realized, okay, I have to find what foods to cut out. So then meat went. Then I had the strength to let go of dairy. Then I had more energy. So then I started to look at, gosh, wait a minute, animals need to be looked after. So it can happen in different ways for different people.
And I think that's also, to me, that's what I've talked about before too, that's the benefit of veganism, is that there are two major ways and reasons you can go. You can either do it because it's coming from the heart, and then it translates into health as a byproduct, or it can be started with health and then translate into the heart,
yes.
Which is beautiful. It can come from either way. It can come from either we're already in that spiritual place. That was kind of the same thing for me. It was a mixture. I was always kind of eating unhealthy. How's it going, brother?
Hey.
I was eating unhealthy. I was kind of slacking off, making foods that were easy to buy, and they were cheap processed foods. All this stuff that fake fills us up, but doesn't give us any energy. That influenced so much of our supermarkets. But I also watched have you seen Cowspiracy, the documentary?
Yes.
So it's a really, really, it pulls at your heart, the documentary. And so I knew after I watched that documentary that I couldn't go on eating meat. I couldn't go on. It's kind of what I used to call like the death of ignorance. You believe Santa's real, but once you know he's not, you can't believe it again.
Yes.
You can try to, but you're just lying to yourself.
Right.
So that for me was that situation, is once I was aware of the facts and I knew that this was creating suffering, I couldn't get it out of my mind every time I ate. And I knew I was just perpetuating something that I could move beyond if I allowed my ego to do so.
Yes.
If I sacrificed cheese, if I sacrificed a burger every once in a while. So it took me about 8 months to fully go vegan. but it finally happened. And that's, ever since then, I don't know about you, but I've felt full of energy. I mean, I see how much energy you have in all of your content. People notice it too.
Yes, you start to glow, you have more energy, and you just feel like, gosh, I'm so disciplined. What else could I do? It's a mindset.
And it is, and it transforms the way your mind acts. What we put in our body directly influences what our body will give to us.
Yes.
How it will let our mind function and our body function especially. So as much as we might think, and as much as certain meats, dairies, and cheeses do give us certain amounts of energy, I think, and especially studies show that being vegan, if you do it the right way, gives you 10 times more.
So much more.
So much more.
So much more. It
And
gives you a new lease of life.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, you can do, I think, so much more for your own life, for your spiritual journey, for your
Yes.
practice. What would you say? Going vegan, what works the best for you? What are some of the key things that you eat that were easiest for you to transition into with veganism?
Well,
If
for
you can
me,
think of any.
it's brown rice, not white rice.
Yes.
It's whole grains. It's more fruits and veg, leafy greens with magnesium, kale, watercress. Also superfoods, spirulina, maca powder, herbs as well, powerful, rosemary. You really need to, for me, what helped me is to really eat a whole food diet.
Yes.
Whole grains and more foods which have live enzymes. It's critical.
And those fill you up more.
Those fill you up more because you have to realize anytime you heat a food over 114 degrees, the enzymes become denatured, right? So a lot of us eating potato, I love potato chips. I used to love them. Then I realized you're heating it way too high. Temperatures are way too high, so it's producing acrylamide. And that's why a lot of people are ending up in the hospital. So you want to be eating foods in their most natural state, what I call sun-kissed foods, baby.
And I also see that people think that it's more expensive, that it's harder to do this, but there's so much stuff to make it so easy to go vegan. I mean, I know for me what helped a lot was getting a nice blender, getting
Right.
a cold press.
Yes.
I think that's, if you spend $100, $200, you now have a way to not only extract all the nutrients from these
Yes.
fruits and vegetables,
Yes.
but to do so in a way that can fill you and taste delicious in the process. And like you said, heating it up too much, doing all this different stuff to it, frying these things. We can be eating vegetables and whole grains, but if we're treating them incorrectly while we're cooking them, we're losing that nutrients.
We're losing the nutrients, but also the state of mind you go in to eat. Some people eat meat and they can be fine because their state of mind is very pure. Some people are eating a lot of fruits and veg and they're vegans, but the main thing is to make sure you're in a good communion with your food.
Exactly, and that's where, for me at least, being grateful. I know my girlfriend's very much into this, and I've learned a lot from her saying it. Is that it's sitting with your food and being having
Yes.
gratitude before you eat. There's a Hindu mantra that I like to chant a lot right before I eat that pretty much just says, "Thank you, universe, for allowing my physical organism to intake these physical organisms to let me continue living and thriving." So the gratitude's huge, and I agree with that. I think a lot of us, and the problem I think, which what you notice going vegan is when you're eating meat, a lot of the times we don't see it as the animals in which we are eating. We just see it as burger, wing. We just they're those independent definitions. We don't understand them as living life forms that had an existence that we took away from them.
Yes. A lot of us, we have disconnect.
Very
Until
much
you
so.
really start to see animals as living, sentient beings, go to a slaughterhouse, go to a farm, and just see animals look into their eyes, and then you're going to be like, gosh, wow, they're actually alive.
And that's I think the biggest way is to educate yourself is all you can do. I know Ralph has a lot of videos on veganism, and,
Yes.
and I have a few as well. But it's just once you understand that suffering, and once you understand that you can very easily transform your life to decrease that suffering, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yes, you have to. It's not going to be easy. Do it at one step at a time.
Exactly.
And don't be too hard on yourself. Go vegetarian first, and then transition to veganism.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, take it one step at a time, baby steps. That's every practice I think requires baby steps. And if you take them, it doesn't have to be some daunting task. You don't have to see this video and go vegan tomorrow.
Yes.
You can take as much time as you need to transition in. I was just telling him that it took me about 8 months of fighting with my own mind to really get into the vegan diet fully.
Yes.
Because the ego can be very strong. We can have that cognitive dissonance. We can ignore the facts. But as long as we continue to come back, I think, to that place of knowing we need to do what we can to better this planet and ourselves,
Yes.
again, it's a no-brainer. It's one of those things that takes precedent over anything.
It is. Change your life. Go vegan, baby.
So to end that, I guess, what's one piece of advice you would give somebody if they're trying to go vegan, outside the baby steps, taking it slow? there anything else you want to say to somebody if they're curious about it?
Definitely, I would definitely tell you first and foremost is research and educate yourself as much as you can on just health. Watch documentaries, Forks Over Knives, What the Health that just came out. And these documentaries really show you the research that, gosh, eating a plant-based diet, the China study, read that book if
The
you
China
can.
study is incredible.
The
I've
China
read that.
study.
That to me was the most powerful. I almost did a
Okay.
video on it. I never did, but yes, the China
The
study.
China study.
Absolutely incredible
Amazing,
book.
amazing.
Yeah.
Read about it. Read about your health. That's your biggest investment.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's just like anything else. Once you have that information ingrained within your mind, you don't have to really read about it as much. If you get the
Right.
core basics down, you can evolve from there on your own time and kind of adapt your diet to that. So,
Definitely.
again, thank you guys so much. This was just
Thank you.
cute little video, short little video on us speaking on veganism. Hopefully, it can assist you if you have any questions about veganism. Check out Ralph's channel. He's got a lot of videos on it, or leave your comments and questions below. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Ram Ram.